So I've just done a short example of some clean sounds on the neck pickup because the bridge pickup was changed at some point before I owned it, and I think that's just got a Gibson 490T in it. So yeah, the neck pickup is the original Guild HB1, so I thought I'd just do a short clean example of that. So after the clean example, I've done a little close-up video, and there's another track playing there which is all recorded with this guitar, and then I'll just spend a little bit of time talking about my experience with it, to be honest, and what I thought and whether I'm keeping it or not. So yeah, stick around. So I've been after one of these guitars for a while, and they don't pop up very often in the UK. So when one does pop up, you've got to be quick off the mark. I've always loved SGs and SG style guitars, mainly because of the weight and the playability. They're just so easy to play. But they obviously come with issues, mainly neck dive, and particularly with Gibson's, tuning issues. So I've owned 3 Gibson SGs in the last 10 years. One was a 1997 standard, then I had a 2001 standard, and a Tony Iommi signature Gibson model as well. And they all suffered with tuning issues. It's just to do with the break angle of the strings, particularly the G string. On a nut, it literally is like that, and it just binds really bad. So it's just constantly going out of tune. Neck dive's an issue on all of them as well, in a big way. Now this is something that was obviously made famous by Kim Thale from Soundgarden. He's got a signature model at the moment. The model I managed to get is a 1974 S100. This is it. Now this has been refinished at some point in the past. I believe it was cherry red originally. You can sort of see from the back of the neck there. The mother of pearl on this it looks incredible on the inlays. It's one of the nicest parts of the guitar. After I cleaned it up, it was just quite grotty, and the fretboard was so dry and dirty. Obviously the guitar's over 50 years old, so It's a really well balanced instrument. There is a bit of neck dive, but it's not nearly as bad as a Gibson. Obviously the angle of the headstock is much less brutal, you know, it's more subtle, so you don't get that crazy, you know, angle. With an SG you're looking at like that sort of angle. So this stays in tune great. The nut's a bit rough, it probably could do with a new nut. This is probably my first real sort of vintage guitar. Now, did it meet my expectations, having wanted this for so long? Probably not, if I'm honest. The issue for me with this is the width of the nut. This is an incredibly slim neck, and the width of the nut is only 41.5 mil. Now vintage Fenders were like 42 mil. I love 42 mil nuts, I really, really do. Obviously I still have this here, which is my Court, which I absolutely dearly love. It's such a good guitar, so versatile. This is a 42 mil nut, and then this is chunky as well, and it's a fantastic neck. It's probably my favourite neck, if I'm honest. It's so playable, it's so easy to play, but it's got that, you know, you can really grip it as well. It's just fantastic. You might think we're talking less than 0.5 mil here, or we're only talking 0.5 millimeter, but it's so noticeable. And it's one thing I've really found in recent years that I never really paid much attention to, is the nut width of a neck makes such a difference. When I'm making a purchase for myself, it's one of the first things I look at. Now I know 42, 42.5, ballpark. Any greater than 43 I'm not, you know, 43 and above I just don't like the feel of that. And now I know 42 and under, I just don't like, you know, I don't like the feel of under 42 either. This is great for sort of chords and classic rock sort of style rhythm playing. This would be fantastic. One of the problems for me is lead playing on a neck this narrow. It feels very, very cramped, and I find my fingers are sort of tripping over each other, if you understand what I mean. So that's probably the main reason why I'm gonna move this on. Otherwise, I absolutely love it. I love the look of it, the weight of it, the sort of mojo it has. It is a great guitar. It's just not for me. You can really tell the build quality of these old guilds as well. You know, look at the neck joint there. It's lovely. I hope it's been informative. I just wanted to make a video that's a little bit, like, I don't know loads about these. This was made in the Westerly plant in Rhode Island in 1974. So American-made vintage instrument from that era. You know, far superior to anything Gibson were kicking out then in the Norman period. So if you compare this to an SG from the same year, build quality wise, no comparison. This is just far, far superior in every single way. It just comes down to the feel, which is that really narrow nut and the really, really slim neck. I prefer probably a 50s neck, not super chunky like a 59 really. Probably prefer that feel. I probably prefer a 42 to 42.5 mil nut as well. So this is a good mil under that. And that's where I struggle with it. Yeah, it's just that 0.5 mil, 0.5 mil, 0.75 mil makes such a difference. You just have that little bit of extra natural space. So it's a shame I'll be letting this go, but that's the way it rolls. For everyone who's liked and subscribed, huge thanks. That's been awesome. The channel's growing slowly, but it is growing. So I shall keep making videos, and thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.